Well, welcome to Upon Further Review, our 2026 preview for the football season. I am Ray Halbrook, and we have a newcomer to Upon Further Review, Scotty Latta, that's going to be with us, kind of filling in this season, kind of taking over, I guess, for Matt Bates. And
I'm
Matt
keeping the seat warm.
You are going to keep the seat warm. And Jeff Whitener would have loved to have been with us. Unfortunately, he's unavailable, a little under the weather for our preview here. But
we'll try and do him proud, though.
We will try to do him proud. Ray Halbrook here again from Livestream STL. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And as we get going here with our preview, we just want to maybe recap a little bit of last season. Had a great deep run from two local teams here. One in the Festus Tigers, one
Black and Gold.
Yeah, the Black and Gold, and another gold team, the Gold and Blue of the St. Pius X Lancers as well.
Lancer Pride.
They did state championship, made it all the way there. Unfortunately, fell a little short. Festus, kind of the same thing, but deep runs are have been kind of the common theme here the last few years here for Jefferson County football, Scott.
Yeah, and the good thing is not to take anything away from the Lancers run, but it was kind of a Cinderella story. I mean, a lot of people, I think they expected them to be successful. I don't think they expected them to take it to the level that they did.
Right. And you give kudos to both coaches there, AJ O'Fadley over at Festus and Frank Ray over at St. Pius. And, they both are probably looking to get chomp at the bit again for this particular season as well.
Yeah, and of course, with a brand new season, you've got a whole new challenge because the dynamic of each team, we even talked about this before we went on air. What happens every year? You graduate talent,
right,
and then you've got to have new players step up and become new leaders.
Right. Lots of that. We're going to be talking about to a lot of the coaches about what their season's going to look like this year. Some could get better. Some could get worse. Some could surprise. We'll just see. And
I believe that's why they play the game.
That's why they play the game. You're exactly right, Scott. So for those that have not ever seen an episode of Upon Further Review, this is kind of what we do here is we're going to try to keep this on Monday nights. We're going to try to get these out by Monday night for our viewers and make sure that we don't want it to go too far in the week because we have other duties that we're doing, getting ready for the next week. But on Monday nights, you'll
that'll give them like 3 or 4 days to digest it before Friday Night Blitz.
That's right. You'll see Friday Night Blitz down there below us. So what to expect here for Upon Further Review for those that have never checked it out. What we do is we review the games that we covered over the past weekend, and we also will crown a Player of the Week. That's so hard some weeks. Bunch of honorable mentions as well.
And you're going to have a lot of those, faithful, alumni in there pulling for their player, which is, it's noble.
Yep.
But, like you said, it's not easy, and there's some of them that's so close. So it's like sometimes we got to bite the bullet and be like, hey, We're going to make an executive decision.
Yeah, sometimes we got to flip the coin. Sometimes as well. So we'll have a Player of the Week, and then we'll also preview the next week's schedule as well. And we're working on trying to continue to stay with three games every Friday night. So we're hoping to keep that intact, and that a lot of that depends on our personnel plus also our sponsorship. So a little free plug for us out there, Scotty. If you're interested in sponsoring with us, you got to give us a call. Get a hold of us on my phone, 314-852-4398. Free plug right there, Scott.
And I can't stress enough with what you just said. The sponsors are our lifeblood, and we really do appreciate them. And it is a symbiotic relationship because we – in turn, we give that product, we highlight these young athletes, and in turn, your business gets seen by thousands and heard by thousands of people because we also do the radio.
Throughout the year, we've done some of our analytics. We are on the track of about 6 or 7 million viewers this season. Football alone will probably be close to about 3 of that throughout the season, and that's all season. So
people like football.
People like football for some crazy reason. Yeah, Friday Night Blitz especially. So For those that also have never checked out our website, you can check it out at livestreamstl.tv along with our Roku channel. Very easy to get to. If you got Roku TV, you just search Livestream STL, download the app, and you'll be able to watch all of our season, our Friday Night Blitz season, and other sports as well throughout the season here, all the high school sports that we cover for free, courtesy of Livestream STL.
Now, does that give them access to like previous year's archives?
The previous year archives are there as well.
Nice.
It's very easy to get to. You find that search, and I would just search like your school, the particular school that you're looking for.
So if there's like a Hillsborough versus, say Festus, and they go be like, what happened in previous years? You go back and
you can do
possibly
that.
watch
You can do that, yes. At least a couple, 3 years back. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, well, we appreciate everybody being a part of this show here, and we are going to take a break. We'll be back with our coaches. This is Upon Further Review. After Friday Night Blitz, check out the Friday Night Blitz postgame at 10 p.m. Our Friday Night Blitz announcers will catch up with coaches from around the area and grab some postgame interviews to cap off another Friday night football frenzy. That's the Friday Night Blitz postgame show at 10 p.m. on Livestream STL.
When catastrophes strike and you don't know what to do, contact Next Step Contracting. We're experts in fire and water damage, and we will work directly with your insurance company to ensure that you're back in your home as quickly as possible. Serving Jefferson, St. Louis, and St. Charles counties for over 15 years. Call 636-236-0306. Next Step Contracting.
Men to do what they do. Devoted, skilled, solving problems before there are problems. Just like the team at Crystal Heating and Cooling. 60 years of teamwork and dedication. To Crystal, you're more than a customer. You're a friend. Top reviews, decades of experience keeping your home safe and comfortable through any weather. And Crystal Care Club with included maintenance and free financing options. For 60 years, Crystal puts their heart into your comfort. Crystal Heating and Cooling.
Welcome again to the 2026 preview here for Upon Further Review, and we are catching in with the Crystal City Hornets here. We've got Coach Craig Collins with us. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent, excellent. Let's take a look at the 2025 season here real quick here. 3-7 on the season. You lost to Van Far in the Class 1 District 2 semifinals. You lost approximately 11 players to graduation. And you open up with Winfield on the 24th this season. And this is your second season in the books. So first off, I got to ask, how was the first season, number one? And let's give us your grade or maybe your thoughts on the first season here.
Absolutely. It was a great season in the fact that coming into this place and the history and tradition Crystal City has and just the good kids, loved every minute of it, but we definitely underperformed. Like you said, that 3-7 mark didn't sit well with our coaching staff. It didn't sit well with our kids because we knew we had more in us, and a lot of the things that went into that were untimely, uncontrollable things. We had huge injuries, some of our main stars and playmakers, but the kids, you don't like to make excuses, so as much as that factored in and we could play that pity game, we don't. And I refuse to let the kids, I refuse to let myself, the coaches, we tell everybody, put the ball down, we'll go against anybody. Like we talked about Winfield and some of those bigger schools we'll put on our schedule. We are up for any challenge, And even with some of those injuries, we had guys that were still on the field that they know we underperformed a little bit. And that's across the board. The coaches, we're working to get better every day. The players are working to get better every day. So it was really one of those things that culture-wise, it's starting to set in. We are making leaps and bounds of off-the-field success. They're turning into great men. We didn't have any silly penalties. We didn't have any personal foul other than like when you face mask, but any of the stuff that is late hits or dirty stuff or any of things like that, we didn't have any. We didn't have any of those issues, and it's one of those things the kids have took pride in, and I've taken pride in to make sure that happens, and it's been great in that aspect. So great off-the-field success, but we are hungry now to get it turned into on-the-field success. So
Absolutely, absolutely. You lost some important players, producers on both sides of the ball, guys like Gage McPherson, Trent Eisenbeis, How's the backfield competition shaping up, and what's that looking like so far?
Well, fortunately, we still have those two, Gage McPherson, Trent Eisenbeis. They're returning as our seniors. We did lose a ton. We lost Landon DeRoos, Ricardo Pastrana, David Parham, Hayden Westbrook, Riley Hendrickson, and London Patton. I can just go down the whole list. Aiden Lukey, some of those great kids that they contributed in practice every day. They contributed huge success in numbers on the field, game nights, Friday nights. But it was one of those to where we got to move on. In a small school, it's really hard to do next man up. But that's the mentality you got to have, and that's where as coaches, we've got to figure out how to make our program, our system, and all those kind of things work and fit to what guys we have. When you lose a stud like Landon DeRoos and some of those guys, Ricardo Pastrana, it's hard to just go, okay, guys, next guy up. But we really do have some skill kids who we are excited to say, okay, next guy up. So Evan Morgan, he was a newcomer to us last year, first time ever playing football. He turned into one of our best players. Talon Clayton was a dynamic star, and he's going to be it once again for us as a senior. And then some young guys. We have Alex Parham coming in, who's just electric and can do a lot of good things with the ball in his hands. So we're going to make sure to get him that ball in his hands. Our quarterback, he was real young last year, Colton Adams, that got thrown in unfairly, if you will, because he had to step in for some injured guys, and we had to put him in a lot of rough spots that didn't help him any last year, but man, it's paid dividends this year. He's seen it. He's experienced now as a sophomore, so that's big time. And then we're able to move and grow with him as he continues to get better with his game. So those two you did mention, Trent Eisenbeis, Gage McPherson, they'll be 4-year starters, going into this senior year, and they are anchor points. Yep. Literally, not only do they play the O&D line, but Gage McPherson's done so well for us as a leader that we've moved him to Mike Backer. He is agile, he's quick, he's big, he's strong, and he can call the whole D for us. So I'm looking forward to getting out the calls, and then they see some things going on, and he makes the call after that. So really exciting times, and hard when you lose those players, not only because you build relationships with them, you love them, but they're really good.
Right.
But we have a crew coming in that, based on that senior leadership, we're excited about. So.
Yeah. We've seen, we've only been around you for a year here, but we've seen that weightlifting and conditioning, they're super critical, especially to some small schools, and especially if you want to see success. With many players starting on both sides of the ball and special teams, we know you are a huge proponent especially on the lifting side. What have you done to make inroads and improvement with your athletes in these areas?
I've really started to adapt over these last, I'd probably say now 4 to 5 plus years, is that I'm a feed the cats guy when it comes to track, which is all about rest, recovery, being fresh, 100% healthy, and 80% in shape.
Yeah.
And that freaks a lot of coaches out, because if you're not 100% in shape, are they going to outlast you in the fourth quarter? If you're not 100% healthy, you're not going to make it to the fourth quarter with those guys and those studs anyway. So right. I flipped my mindset to that. And then football-wise, we've kind of turned into a sprint-based football program. We cut out the long-term conditioning like running laps or miles. It just, in the football sense and world, when a play lasts 4 to 10 seconds if you're lucky, that's not what we do. So we sprint-based football. We condition everything short, fast burst, low rest, and then we get right back to it, and we try to make practice the same to where we're moving. It's fast, it's fast, it's fast. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And then they start to get in that game shape after those first couple weeks, the jamboree, and we can condition them in the ways that they're truly going to perform on Fridays instead of, hey, guys, we got the mile test today and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really translate. So that's kind of – and it was tough for me because I'm an old school guy, but it's what's going to be best, especially for our team. We have a small school to where we've got 25, 30 kids, and then – they're playing both ways, like you said, and special teams. And when they don't get that break, that's where that training comes into play, those short bursts, those short rests, and I'm right back to it. It's worked out well for us so far.
Excellent. Excellent. We've seen you on the social media all over the place, especially with like commitments and things like that. And, how do you identify and develop to retain players once they're committed?
I actually just made a couple social media posts before I came in here a while ago. So it's one of those things to where that's where the kids live now. And I've had to meet them there. I'm not a huge tech savvy guy. I have guys on my staff who help me out in those aspects because they understand it a lot better than I do. But in the social media world, I know how important it is to the kids because, you're working hard. You want to be seen. So I make sure they get out there in that way and expose them to where if colleges want to see them, here you go. Here's this kid. Here's his stats. Here's his, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then just getting them excited about when you do something great in a game on Friday night, Monday morning rolls around, let's reward that. We have our post-game awards, and I'm the big Captain America shield and all that kind of stuff, and I had the Avengers-type deals and rewards. That stuff keeps kids involved, but it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
Because big school, small school, everybody's dealing with it to where we're all on these cell phones and they want that instant gratification. And football's a long, hard process,
right?
Especially to be good and consistently good. So kids are having a tougher time with that. They're raised now to where they want to be, I want it right now. Right this second. That's not how it works. So we have to continue to help them and meet them along the way to where we maybe throw some fun things in practice, and conditioning one day is ultimate football,
right?
To where they don't even realize it, but they're sprinting their butts off all over the place. And I think that's helped us retain guys. And the ones who, I've had some kids who are, Coach, man, it's just this game. I'm kind of bored and they want to quit. And I'll talk to them and have meaningful conversations with them that really show you're not just a number to me.
Yeah.
We need you as much as you need us. So let's talk and figure this thing out. And I think that's gone the furthest in keeping kids out and then wanting new kids to come out and play because they see that, I'm not just a number to this guy. He truly does care about me. So
Great. That's awesome. Awesome. You've had so many graduating seniors this past season. Who is going to step up in the leadership role that you see right now at this point?
Absolutely. And some of those names I mentioned already, Gage McPherson and Trent Eisenbice, they, with their play, but then obviously off the field stuff as well, they become big leaders for us. And we've got other guys, we got guys stepping in like Colton Adams, who, again, a sophomore, but he's starting to find his way and gain that confidence because he had to start as a freshman on the basketball court last year too. So he's kind of becoming that early veteran player who we're going to have to lean on. So we've got to start working on the mental aspect on some of these guys because they're physical tools they got them. Alex Parham, he's again, spark plug. And he's going to be our free safety on defense to where he's kind of that second leader besides the Mike Backer to where he's calling things and coverages and all that kind of stuff. So definitely leaning on those guys. You've got a slew of guys stepping up. Tristan Munton, who was O&D line guy for us last year, is going to be our center, and then he's moved his way to backer. He's slimmed up a bit, but he's kept his strength, and so his speed has increased, and we're really looking forward to those guys. And then there's just a number of them. We've got Connor Miller, who, much like Hayden Westbrook last season, he's in boot camp right now. He'll come back for us about week 1 or 2-ish, so we're excited to have him back, and just guys like that and that leadership. We're going to be young. We've got some freshmen and sophomores. We're really low on junior class right now with some of those kids, and I'm trying to get in the hallways and get them to come back to us and want to play and those kind of things, which I get it. Kids today, they're trying to specialize, and that's one of the things where the proof's out there. The All-Americans in college and the guys and girls who make it pro, they're multiple sport athletes. So I'm trying to get onto them about that kind of stuff and keep them interested and keep a bug in their ears. But the leaders that we have and even the young guys that are stepping up, we've got a couple freshmen, Brody Parker and Evan Kahn, who have really showed out this summer that may get some early time right off the bat. And that's one of those things to where normally as a coach, you're concerned playing freshmen and sophomores and you're worried. But with the veteran leadership we have as the seniors, mixed with that intensity and almost cocky. They toe that line, which is just perfect. They're confident, but almost cocky young guys. Yeah. We're going to be really good. So
excellent. Final question. We'll let you go here. What can fans expect this season when they watch a Crystal City football game?
A lot, because it is the 100th season of football at Crystal City. So we are super excited. We've actually got our athletic director, Steve Eisenbice, has started a Centennial Facebook page to where there's updates and all different kinds of stuff. We're having players' jersey retirements coming up to where 3 guys that have made it to the pros will be either they're returning or their family members will be returning for them to be honored with that. We're having honorary captains from player and coach alums every game, home game and everything. So there's a lot going on. It's an exciting time to be a Hornet, and we're going to take that next step. It's one of those things to where the culture's starting to build. It's starting to become consistency. We're getting our numbers up, and then we're just going to have a lot of fun. So if you're coming out to a Friday night game, the stands will be packed, and we hope to keep it. So
excellent. Love what you're doing over there, doing a lot of rebuilding, and looks like it's paying off at this point.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure we'll see you down the road here, Coach.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That is Coach Craig Collins from the Crystal City Hornets.
Need cash for your cause? Double D's Fundraising delivers big profits in crowd-pleasing frozen pizzas and Otis Spunkmeyer cookie dough. Delicious cheese, loaded meat lovers, zesty buffalo chicken, all the flavors fans crave. We make it super easy to earn profits for your organization. Always freshly made for your order. Call or email Double D's today to start raising money the tasty way at 314-472-8600 or fr@ddpizzeria.com.
Welcome into the Upon Further Review football preview for 2026, and we're going to start things off here with our independent team in the area here, the St. Pius X Lancers. I have Coach Frank Ray with us here. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Excellent. And just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of we'll give the St. Pius X Lancers at a glance here from last season here. 9-6 overall. You made it all the way to the state championship, dropped to Blair Oaks there. You've lost 4 players to graduation, but a lot of the main members still remain here. Guys like Evan Eckrich, Cody Shaver, Harrison Ray, and Lyndon McCoyne. And you guys are going to Fort Branch, Indiana for the first week. What a trick is that? That's going to be a big trip. And but tell us through a little bit of last season's historic season. Obviously, here you made it all the way to the state championship, and tell us what it was like and just your thoughts overall of the season.
Yeah, it was a tale of 2 seasons. The first half just didn't seem to get off the ground, and then we started getting some momentum and really grew up. Our thing the whole time has been just growth, right? We've been such a young team for, it seems like, forever now, and these kids were. I really think more than anything, I just attribute it to they kind of grew up halfway through the season. And sometimes it takes the losses to do that. I think they learned some valuable lessons along the way, and kudos to them for accepting that and growing through it, and they ended up on the other side. So once we got into the playoffs, it's cliche. Every coach says it, right? New season, 0-0.
Right.
But for us, it literally was. And we went in there and we just played. There was no aspirations of what we were going to accomplish. For me, it was still grow and get better.
Sure.
I tell the kids all the time, I think from a football standpoint, we were probably a C+, maybe B- if we get some extra credit there. But we were a really tough team, physical, mentally tough, and I think that's kind of what carried us all the way out.
Excellent. Take us through. What do you think during that season was the turning point? What was there a certain game? Was there a certain point in the season that you thought, hey, things really are clicking?
Yeah. So the Valley game was, I think, the first time that for us we played. We played 4 full quarters of a championship level football, and up to that for the last few years we hadn't been able to do that. And I think sometimes it's again, you have the younger guys and they don't know what that feels like, so they can do it in spurts and bursts, but they can't sustain it every minute for 4 quarters. And the Valley game was kind of that first one where we walked out of there and we had lost, but it was tied with, I think, 4 minutes left in that game, and they got us at the end. They did what Valley does, and but at the end, I think we looked at ourselves and said, if we can put a string of games like that together, just the effort alone, right? Just that kind of tempo, that kind of pace.
Right.
If we can do that, we've got a shot here. And so I think that was really it. Last game of the regular season, so I wish it would have came earlier, but better late than never.
Right. Do you feel this year is more of the proving of last season to show folks that it just wasn't a fluke?
Yeah, it's a fair question. For me, I worry more about the program as opposed to the team. I think the team is the kids. That's their team. for the program, we still have a lot of growth to do. It was a blessing to get to go so deep in the playoffs, get some young guys exposed to that. It's an experience that you can't match in practice. You can't simulate that. So this year for me, it's kind of the same thing. We're going to go up to Class 3, so competition gets a little better, presumably, right? And bigger schools, things like that. So for me, it's what everyone, their opinion outside of the program, we've kind of got to shut that off and just grow, just be a better football team this year than we were last year. And if that continues to happen every year, which I feel in the last 3 we have, then I'm happy with it.
Excellent. So do you think, after last year's run especially, have you encountered any challenges in scheduling for this season?
For us, it's been a bit of a challenge the last few years anyway, just with the conference and the county schools. We kind of have to travel anyway to find games. I don't know outside of that. The good news is we typically, I try to play bigger schools anyway. So we play a lot of large schools.
Sure.
So I don't think any of the large schools look at us in the way of, we better avoid those guys. I think in some cases they might look at it and say, we'll take a Class 2 school or, 3. I wouldn't say that. I think it's always a challenge being an independent, as you mentioned. To schedule the games. Everybody else is kind of caught into their conferences through most of the season, whereas we've got to go outside and find some schools that have some open dates. So it's always a challenge, but I don't know if it's because of the season last year.
Right. Let's talk about your kiddo a little bit here, Harrison Ray. You've had the opportunity to coach him in 2 sports, in basketball, football. He's a standout in both. There's no doubt about that. Just an absolute athlete. We've seen him up and down in both sports. Talk a little bit about what it's like to coach him, number one, and then what are the blessings and challenges that can come with that as well?
It's fun to coach him. He's a very coachable kid. He listens. He wants to be great. So in that regard, it's fun. It's just like any kid that you get that listens and wants to push themselves and allows you to challenge yourself. I think where the challenges come, and it's probably more for him than me, unfortunately, is he has to ride home after a game, right? He doesn't get the break.
I know what that's like.
We're in dead week right now, right? And that poor kid doesn't get much dead week, right? He still he still lives with coach. So I think that for him, that's probably the one thing I would imagine. Because I catch myself sometimes like, I got to give him a break. I'm waiting on Saturday morning for him to wake up so I can show him something on film. And sometimes I remember that I just need to let him wake up and get his day going and leave him alone for a minute. So I guess that would be the challenge if there was one, for sure.
There you go. Has there been a player or players this season? I know you guys just finished up camps and things like that. You get ready to turn it up here. Has there been somebody this year that has just said, wow, this kid is really surprising me and just developing a lot better than I thought?
Sure. So I don't know that I'd say surprised, because I do believe consistency always leads to results. And so the kids that are maybe have put themselves in that spot, I don't know that I'm surprised, because I've seen them every day this summer, right? They're in the weight room every single morning, lifting and doing the things they're supposed to do. Our sophomore group, maybe not kids you're going to see on Friday nights, but there's a few of those guys that are they're leaders. A year ago, they kind of were finding their spot in the sport. They hadn't even played the sport before.
Sure.
And now all of a sudden they're in the weight room leading some of the young kids, showing them how to do things. And they've got, gained 30 pounds, and they're bigger and they're stronger and they're faster. So I'm seeing some of that. There's a couple kids that'll find themselves on varsity. Jaden Lewis is one of them. That is a sophomore that right now looks like he'll be he'll hold down that corner spot if it stays as it is. And just a scrappy kid. Really is changed in a lot of aspects. I'm just really proud of him. And then you've got Cole Kings, probably another one that was a quarterback last year on JV. Came in, stayed in the weight room. He's grown a ton. Fast, strong, physical. So I think he'll see some Friday night time. And then Javi was kind of the standout on JV last year, and he'll be in the rotation for linebacker this year. So he'll be out there on Friday nights a lot. So those three, I guess, those three are the ones that have really made that jump, and I think they're ready for Friday night.
Excellent. Final question, we'll let you go. And you talked a little bit about your sophomores. How about maybe even some freshmen coming in there? Is that a possibility?
Sure. Yeah. That I don't know, and it's a blessing to be able to say this, that I don't believe we're gonna have to use them on Friday nights.
Yeah.
And I say that in the most positive way. When I got here, I think that first year we had 7 freshmen, out there on Friday nights playing. And honestly, in some cases, it's not even fair to them to have to do that.
Right.
But we had no choice. And so this year we have some really good ones. It's a great group. There's a kid, Talon Warden and Nash Cook kind of seem to be maybe the kids that are closest to being ready, that could probably find some time. And then the other kids that have shown up, they're working. That's what I'll say about this group. That's they're as dedicated as any. They're in there every day, and they're learning, and they're a smart group of kids. So they're gonna do well inside this program for a lot of years.
Excellent. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming in and just catching up, learning a little bit more about Frank Ray and the St. Pius X Lancers. And we've got you. We're looking at a couple of dates to try to get you guys covered this year. So we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. That is Coach Frank Ray from the St. Pius X Lancers. After Friday Night Blitz, check out the Friday Night Blitz postgame at 10 p.m. Our Friday Night Blitz announcers will catch up with coaches from around the area and grab some postgame interviews to cap off another Friday night football frenzy. That's the Friday Night Blitz postgame show at 10 p.m. on Livestream STL. Hey, Ray Halbrook here from UFR, also known as Upon Further Review. Don't forget to check out Upon Further Review on Monday evenings right here on Livestream STL. You don't want to miss it.
Stop. Forget about your laundry. Don't worry about your job. We've got it all on UFR.
What you gonna do, brother, when the live stream STL maniacs run wild on you?
Nicely done.
See? Told you.
Well, Scotty, that does it for our Upon Further Review 2026 preview. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we are ready for the 26th season for football, my friend. Are you ready for some football, Scotty?
I am. I feel like I've been waiting for this for, several months.
Yeah, love it. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to check out all of our games on livestreamstl.tv and our Roku app. Real easy to get to. If you have a Roku, just search Livestream STL, find that app, download it for free, and we will see you first week of football season. For all of us here at Upon Further Review, say so long. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.